there's this YouTuber I follow. I'm not even sure if I want to mention the name because it's not so much about the individual YouTuber or commenters as much as it is the fact that this is more of a societal issue. So if anything, I think I'll just put the name in the title and then I can erase it later if necessary or change it, or maybe I'll just go with a generic title. But this is someone who was successful on YouTube in a particular niche that had nothing to do with disability or chronic illness, and then acquired an illness, and I think is probably kind of struggling to keep creating content at all at this point, and posted something recently that I had a lot of thoughts about, so I thought I would just make a video because that's what we do here, right? So there are bits of the original post that stood out to me. At my worst, I can't walk or sit up for more than a few minutes without feeling very bad for days. Which, in other words, is a crash, and means that the situation is very serious. You know, that's a very small window of activity and a very long window of recovery. Now, I did manage to get a hold of my condition back in April after tons of exercise and nearly a year of being bedridden. I did improve to the point where I could walk about 30 minutes a day and sit up for a few hours. I know there are some conditions that improve with exercise. I'm not entirely sure if this is one of them. The illness he has is POTS, which has a high comorbidity with the illnesses I have. So I know a lot of people with POTS who suffer from chronic fatigue, but it might not be because of their POTS. But since he crashes for such a long time, it sounds like maybe there's some fatigue involved in there too. Which makes me a little bit apprehensive about the idea that it just, this relentless exercise is going to fix everything. That is something really important to understand, is that exercise is not always going to help. Depending on your condition, it could make things worse. Like I said, I don't know if that's the case here. It looks like it did help, but it's important to be aware that it could be causing harm, just because if that's not even a thought that crosses your mind, it might be causing harm and you're just not registering it, you're not looking for it. But I've since relapsed and I'm building my endurance up from scratch again. This really stinks because I can't do what I love most if I'm feverish. Again, this sounds similar to what I have. I get like elevated body temperature when I'm crashed from overexerting myself, which means I need to rest. That said, everything is not doom and gloom. See, this attitude is exactly why I didn't share about my illness on my Facebook until quite a while into it, because I felt like I needed to have a positive spin that I could put on the end of the story, and that's exactly what's going on here. Everything is not doom and gloom. It's like, I've got a plan, this is gonna work, I'm gonna get back on track, I'm gonna get back to doing what you guys are here to watch me do. I've had a lot of plans that did not, my body just didn't want to cooperate, so it didn't go anywhere. I'll get back to good health through extreme discipline and exercise. Okay, extreme already sounds like, maybe not the best idea. Like, by nature, extreme means it's a bit too much. And again, discipline and exercise might help, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be enough. Your body's going to do what it wants to do. This illness is running the show, so you can try everything in the book. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be back to your hustle before you know it. That is a hard reality that I had to face, but it took me a really long time to even have that idea, because I just didn't cross my mind that was possible, that there isn't a way out, that you can try everything and still be stuck. In the words of Elon Musk, no, I don't give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. This is like, whew. If y'all think hustle culture is toxic, try adding internalized ableism on top of it. No, you don't have to be dead or completely incapacitated to give up your dream. There's a point where you lose enough health that you're like, do I want to keep driving it further down into the ground, or do I maybe want to lift off the pedal a little bit, take a break from my dream, and hope that my health will stabilize and stop this decline. And if I'm really lucky, maybe it'll go back up again. I think that is the most the most realistic expectations that you can have with a chronic illness like this. So in the comments, someone says, imagine the TED Talk he's going to give after all this. Someone else comments, TED Talk. This guy shares how he fought and beat a medical condition while TED Talk. This guy shares how he fought and beat a medical condition while simultaneously focusing on his passion. I'm not sure if he's gonna beat it, since it's a chronic illness with no cure. But yeah, also straight into inspiration porn. Luckily someone responded, this illness is not a virus, it's a chronic medical condition, and this reassures me that I'm not projecting, because this person says that they are also concerned for this YouTuber, because he seems to think he can exercise his way out of it, despite the fact that it is a chronic condition with no cure. So again, I really feel that this is, it's a need to hold on to your passion, and just like refusal to even consider that you might have to let go of it, where you just, you put the blinders on and focus, and you try to keep going, but you keep getting slower and slower. And at some point you realize that you're causing yourself more harm by trying to keep up with hustle culture. Something that is like near impossible for healthy people to keep up with. That they get burned out. We with chronic illness really don't stand a chance. You know, we can try our best to keep up in that world, but it's a game where you have to be ready to give 200% indefinitely until you make it. And if we're operating on less than 100%, then we get other comments like, I'm hugely in awe of your drive and determination. Again, hustle culture meets inspiration porn. I'm sorry you have to go through all this, but it's just another trial. You'll get through it and be stronger than ever. Will you though? Will you? Because honestly, I gotta say, chronic illness has me feeling physically much weaker than ever. Yeah, I definitely cannot imagine someone with a chronic illness, like, through exercise, becoming healthier than they were before they got sick. If there's no treatment. I mean, okay. I have to remind myself that yes, some people with chronic illness do then become a lot fitter than they were before and live even healthier lives in order to keep it under control. But for me and everyone else I know, no, like, adding a chronic illness did not somehow make us stronger than we were before. Not at all. Never give up. Even when things look bleak, there's always a reason to wake up and keep moving forward. Yeah, I understand the sentiment, but not true. There are lots of reasons why you might struggle to wake up and keep moving forward. And that is okay. What I don't like about this is a lot of these comments is the undertone that if you were this way, you would be bad. You know, that, oh, you know, we're glad that you are fitting this model of disability that we approve of, and so we're going to praise you for it, which is simultaneously implying that everybody else over here, you know, y'all should be more like this guy. But this guy might not even be like this, you know, in the future. He might be one of the people who gets to a point where he's struggling to find a reason to keep going. And that's okay. It is okay to not feel happy and positive and put on a smile and act like everything is fine to inspire the ableds. I know things will get better for you. Again, not necessarily. We hope. We try our hardest, but it's okay if things don't get better, because look at the world around us. Look at the odds. Not everyone is going to get better. Not everyone is going to make it. And when we don't move forward and reach that achievement when we planned, we are stuck in the position that we were trying to get out of. And we just feel really frustrated and start beating ourselves up, because we're not able to live up to these people who say that they know it's going to get better. They're so sure, they're so confident. We don't want to let them down. We want to show everyone that we're still capable. But sometimes we're not. Sometimes we have to do less. We have to prioritize our health. Sometimes, no matter what you do, what you lack in energy, you make up for in pain. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I feel that it's better to set realistic expectations, because thinking like that now, don't think of it as a negative thing. Think of it as an opportunity to preserve the state of health that you have now. If you slow down, you make sure not to push yourself, you do your best to avoid crashing. And I really need to work on taking my own advice. But if you can do that, you can slow the decline and have a better chance of remaining at the level of health that you have currently, which I'm going to tell you, I think in the long run is a much safer bet than trying to keep up with hustle culture and crashing so hard that you aren't able to come back from it. This is why in my interview for the Hyperpolyglot Association, I was very intentional about talking about the fact that chronic illness cannot be overcome. It's very difficult, and I have to do things in small increments to sort of hopefully get away from this idea of inspiration porn and the idea that this is something that should be idealized, because it's not. There's something wrong with us that needs to be fixed. It's not fun living with it. We're not beating it just because we do manage to accomplish our goals. We're accomplishing our goals despite a lot of discomfort, and that needs to be acknowledged and not just swept under the rug. So yeah, y'all should go give that a read.